The first group of American prisoners released under the Vietnam Peace Agreement have now had a day to enjoy the emotions of freedom. They've had an opportunity to call home, to sleep in good beds, and to eat the kind of dinners never known in the communist prisons of North Vietnam. And American doctors at the Philippines Clark Air Force Base have had the time to give them at least preliminary checkups. They report that most of the 143 men are in relatively good physical condition. The expectations are that many will be leaving for the United States later this week for recuperation at military bases near relatives.
As prearranged, the first aboard were those physically unable to walk. Then the rest. At last, the moment many of these men must have thought would never come. Liftoff. And with that plane just a few miles out of Hanoi, the second group was boarding. Most of them appeared to be rather reserved in mood until they were sure it was for real. And again, the pictures told the story. But finally, with the landing at Clark, it was true. Lem Tucker, ABC News.
Clark Air Base has been ready for days and waiting expectantly. When the first C-141 hove into view from Hanoi, shivers ran up and down spines. Officials had discouraged large crowds on the flight line for fear of upsetting the POWs. As it turned out, they needn't have worried. Navy Captain Jeremiah Denton spoke on behalf of his fellow prisoners in the first plane.
We are honored to have the opportunity to serve our country under difficult circumstances. We are profoundly grateful to our Commander-in-Chief and to our nation for this day. God bless America. God bless America.
And we welcome all of you to the ceremonial first raising of the POW MIA flag at an Ohio rest stop.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The National League of Families is the organization responsible for creation of the flag. And they meant for it to be continually visible as a way to keep the issue of captured and missing soldiers in the thoughts and wishes of the citizens of this country. I can think of no better way to achieve that goal than to marry the flag with our state's roadways.
I appreciate all of the folks who are here, veterans around the room that you've been, or around the space here, you've been thanked already, but I want to add my thanks to take a moment out of your day to meet here on the peaceful fields of Licking County. They're peaceful because of the service that you gave. The special thanks goes to Miss Maupin. It was her vision that allowed us to now see today that we're going to have the POW MIA flag flying across the state on our highways. Her son, Staff Sergeant Matt Maupin, was captured in Iraq in 2004, but his fate was unknown. He remained missing in action for nearly 4 years. Sadly, he had perished. Only his remains were recovered in 2008. Steadfastness is a good word to describe the meaning of the POW MIA flag. It symbolizes the steadfast resolve of the American people to never forget the men and women who sacrificed their freedom and their very lives to protect our freedom and our lives. It's a symbol with deep personal meaning, so you can tell by that last comment. You might know, as Mike pointed out, that I was down in 1968 and became a POW and spent over 5 years as a prisoner of the North Vietnamese communists. For 2 years, no one in my family, my parents or my wife, no one knew if I was alive or dead. I was one of more than 2,500 service members who were simply listed as missing in action. Eventually, my family learned that I was a prisoner in the infamous Hanoi Hilton, and thankfully, I was able to come home in 1973. This flag reminds me of those dark days that I shared with my mates, some of whom died of their wounds or from torture. So I think it's somewhat fitting that we're saving a few tears from heaven to share our moments of remembrance for them. But no matter the privations we suffered, we also never lost faith in our country or our family. We were not and would not be forgotten. Indeed, our faith was justified. Our family and friends never abandoned us. When we came home, we learned of this symbol and their remembrance and their resolve. That remembrance and resolve lives to this day. We never forgot Pat Falcon. And we continue to remember those who remain missing and work to bring about their repatriation, whether it be to find the 2 other Americans still listed as missing or captured in Iraq and Afghanistan, or each of the 1,700 still listed as missing in Vietnam, or the 8,000 still listed as missing from the Korean War, or the 79,000 still listed as missing from World War II. We will not forget or stop the search. At this very moment, teams of American specialists are investigating sites around the world in search of our missing comrades. The flag is a symbol that endures as a constant reminder of our own steadfastness, to keep the faith, never to forget, and never to leave anyone behind. God bless.